Good morning, everyone. So, and something's got to give here because the market is just, while resilient, it's just amazing that it's holding up here. And I thought it'd be interesting to look at what we've talked about for almost 2 years. Inverted yield curves and the market historically, like if you look up the data historically, this has been the only indication of a recession that's coming. Right? So, wanting to learn, look into this many years ago, um, what affecting the economy, into market analysis, so on and so forth. Right? And so, reading through that data, there were two studies done, one in 1996, one in 1999 by the Fed. Looked at all of these different economic influences, indicators, call them whatever you want. Right? The only thing that was a reliable indication of I'm talking as loud. Turn up your volume. I think I'm talking. Let me check this thing here. Hold on. It's about as loud as it's going to go. Anyway, um, the only thing that they came up with as a reliable indication of a recession was an inverted yield curve. And of course, it was a long lead time. Anyway, it's been inverted for 2 years, give or take. Um, I could scroll back. But what we see is here's the 13-week versus the 30. And maybe it crossed today. I mean, it looks to me like it's right there. I think it went positive today. And I've used this over the years more than the 2 versus the 10. But so we see this, and maybe, the thought of, hey, this thing led us down the rabbit hole for 2 years. Now that it's turning positive, does that mean everything's okay? I don't know, but I thought it was interesting that we see these intermediate and long-term interest rates ripping higher over the last 2 weeks, while the 13-week has come down as it plummeted. And you can see the 10 year, it's coming up into resistance, and here's the 30 year. So these lines here, like this one, is looking at the difference between these two. It's almost positive. This one is looking at the difference between this one and that one. And it looks to me like, it's positive. I can put a thing on there, but what's the difference if it's, 0.01 or whatever? It looks like it's positive to me. So I thought that was something of interest to look at. Our internals here, uh, in the middle of nowhere, breath has come down again, and it wasn't able to advance, but things have been flat. The equity put call ratio, just touched those bands there. So a little bit of overzealousness about the market going up, and it's just sitting here. Maybe everybody's waiting for we've got 2 weeks of this chopping sideways. It's going to be pretty bad waiting, but we'll see. But one of the interesting things here, the market is holding up amazingly well, right? We saw semiconductors get plummeted. They held up. Um, Tech held up, and it's really not going anywhere. But look at currency. The dollar we talked about is going up. The euro is collapsing as the dollar's going up. You have the pound, and it looks like it's ready to collapse down into this void here. And you've got the yen. Look at that, collapsing and dropping here. So we have these major moves happening. Interest rates, the dollar, other currencies are going in the other direction. And the markets are in a freaking coma, doing nothing. And then we've got gold, you know, new all-time highs, right? There was the pullback, and just, now it's a little extended. When we talk, extended, we look at distance from a 20 MA, distance from support, and the ability to move with this kind of momentum is a positive. So, as you know, one of the things that we look for rather than looking at indicators is the distance between highs. So as prices move up here you had good momentum. This was a gap, but that was kind of close. And then, this has been moving up on nice momentum. So this kind of movement suggests it'll go higher, even though it's likely to pull back. And of course, you're going, well, pull back to where, Greg? Well, what was resistance becomes support, maybe to here, give or take. It could form a continuation pattern here and then shoot higher. And that would be more of an indication that it's too extended and it's going to pull back even further. We don't have that as of yet. Right? We see it stalling though. All right. So other positives, transports broke out above initial resistance. They pull back. So that's good. IWM, that moved up. It's pulling back toward where buyers should want to show up. It's gapping down a little bit more today. So this is going to be of interest to see whether buyers want to show up here on the small caps and get a turn here. Regional banks moved higher. That's a positive. It's pulling back. It's gapping down a little bit here. So these are going to be some things to keep an eye on to see how these positives continue to be positive today. Regional banks, transports, IWM, and how are they going to hold up here to where we know buyers should want to show up in those areas? We've got oil is kind of down here near this support, near the bottom of the trading range. It was kind of just a big mess down here. So, internet looks great. I mean, maybe it's double topped here, but so one of the themes a week or so ago was, hey, this thing's hitting on all cylinders. Everything looks good. Then the semiconductors got, blasted with that company. I forget which one it was on this day that reported, but it didn't violate the trend. So, well, yeah, thank you, Dan. ASML, that thing got crushed. And as you look at some of these semiconductors, if you were to delve into them, you're going to find some of them are holding up okay, showing relative strength. And then others like this ASML or LRCX or AMAT, they got really destroyed. So you got these forces that are going on that positives and some really nasties. Markets are kind of just waiting for what? I don't know. We're all waiting. Is it the election, which is breathing down our necks now, is what's going to happen? And there's a lot of speculation as to, okay, there's two sides of this thing, right? Whoever wins, oh, it's a freaking disaster. It's the end of the world, and everybody's got their opinion as to whose world is going to be the disaster. But anyway, we'll all know that in a couple of weeks. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I think I've covered it all other than SPX here. I think that's the outlook because, as we look at, and I'll just take a quick peek at the futures here. You can see they're red, but big deal. This is in a trading range. Trading range. Dow pulling back, but it showed relative strength. So, a little more bearish, but pulling back within an uptrend. We got the Russell pulling back to where buyers should show up. So I mean, that is going to be in part what we want to see today, whether those that showed strength can continue to show strength. Just want to look at the retailing. I thought maybe, with everything firing on all cylinders, so to speak, that retailing would break out and we'd have another positive, but this is pulled back. So there's just a lot of indecision out there. Some things more bearish than others, but the broader markets aren't doing much of anything. So spiders gapping down to the green bar within an uptrend, bottom of the trading range. You can see the cursor on the 65-minute chart. We'll see if it breaks. And yeah, I'm going a little faster than normal, Dan, but I mean, things aren't moving much. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. So we know this is gapping down. Yesterday I said the top strike is just too damn close, and this one was the one to look at, consider. And it didn't touch either one, which probably 99% of the time it never does. Um, so where are we at today? First, I want to see, is there any huge open interest somewhere? And when I say huge, I mean closer to 10,000. And so we see, 6,000 here at 5,900. So 5,900, I don't even like consider that because the markets are gapping down here. You'd have to get through the top of the range here. And I think that's not happening today. We've got the jobs report tomorrow. So most, I think, will be waiting for that since that's what the Fed is got their laser focus on now as far as whether they'll cut more. Most are expecting a quarter of a point at the next meeting. And so on the put side, there's really nothing of significance either. So 57.85. This moves up a little bit. Surprisingly, I'm surprised that has moving up with the markets gapping down. So that's right on the 20 MA. 865. And interesting. This is coming down and that's moving up. They usually move in the same direction. Again, close. And it's getting tight. The best opportunities is when things are moving big in the morning, because then these option strikes, they really get far, far away and no brainers. Um, I just don't see what's going to move the markets today, other than things that are unexpected. What kind of thing is unexpected? That Starbucks after the close yesterday with the warning. They weren't supposed to report, but Dan will talk about that. So that's the risk with markets is there's always risk, but the unexpected is always a bigger risk because you don't even see it coming. Well, anyway, all yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, when you swing trade, there's no way around it. Unless you're trading something liquid that trades 24 hours a day. Um, so anyway, that Bill Ackman was on CNBC for 30 minutes, the billionaire hedge fund guy. And I thought, Greg, we use the term objective or subjective in our approach. I mean, everything he said just seems so objective. He doesn't like either candidate, but he was talking about, the best of two evils. So, go watch it if you're interested. All right, a couple of alarms here. Lift. I just had a low alarm go off. We're in trail mode. Mitter. It's been dead money. It's like I said, a low alarm go off. This most up 5-minute low on this. But yeah, I'll sure be happy when the selection is over. Blur. I don't see any prints. TFC I posted. This looks great over yesterday's high. I gave it as long calls. The buy setup on support, 180 reversal. Has to be showing relative strength if it's going to trigger. And then, yeah, Starbucks alarm actually went off last night. All right, so we have two trades we have one long call. And that's the benefit. We paid, I think, 233 a share. So this thing can gap down $40. And being long options, your max loss is your cost basis. So we're not going to be at max loss because there's still going to be value of the call that expires Friday. But it's a disaster gap. So my intent is to exit into strength. And we also have a 94-93 put spread. Um, so we're going to be nowhere near max loss either because we got 25 cents of intrinsic value. Um, I mean, left. So, I'll manage them. That's all I can do. All right, let's look at earnings. Again, in the heart of earnings season, I go through and delete a bunch already. So if I don't cover something, feel free to ask. Texan 199.50. It's just a gap in the resistance after nasty collapse. So I got no interest in that. ENPH. Greg, I don't know if you remember, I was contemplating. And by the way, this is today's MT Live talking about trading ETFs. And, sometimes people ask us, do you short? Like, of course we short. We're pattern traders. And look at this monthly breakdown. Well, I'm not talking about shorting ENPH in the ETF letter, but it was a tan. Look at tan right here is where I wanted to short it. Look at this. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Look at that. That was 66.50. And now it's breaking down again. But EMPH getting whacked. It's down a lot from 126. So my bias is possible short-term exhaustion gap. So I got that on my other computer. This would be, just vanilla response, 30-minute high, short of put spread for Friday. Out of the money, of course. This was a typo, BRK. So I have no idea what that was. STX, bearish gap, his cousin, WDC, nothing. CSGP, I think is a real estate company, nasty gap, but no pattern. Learn. That's a monster gap. That has to be blowing through the expected move. So I don't know what to do with that. No prints. RHI. Yeah, there's one. I don't trust prints unless I see a pattern. This one, I think I said yesterday, if it opens flat to slightly up, short yesterday's low for a day trade. Weatherford, no pattern. I mean, no volume there. Same. I'm looking right here in my 15-minute chart. If I don't see a pattern and I just see one dot, I just nothing to do. All right, this one's a buy setup. I have an alarm. I can't tell where it's opening, but I have an alarm. It's from 75.60. That would yesterday's high. I like this. Yesterday's high. Buy setup. I don't know what, we're going to see how it opens here since it reported earnings. Yeah. Put it on the other computer too. Package. At least I see this dot. Now, this is a buy setup and a strong uptrend. But remember when we did that MT live recently on buy setups, teaching 8-year-old little Johnny this pattern? A buy setup is a retracement and reversal on support and an uptrend. Got it. So that's a buy setup over prior bar's high. But we also said we want a retracement from a V top, which is a 1 or 2 bar turn. This is a rounded top. You got 4 bars going sideways. So that's not what we want to see. And the distance from here to here is too close. So it's a bullish gap, but I'll keep it on the list. Maybe put spread. We'll come back and look at it. No prints. I see Q spiders weakening here, making new lows here. Got 8 minutes to go. Viceroy. This is the one that this is the only option trade I took. I tried another one and didn't get filled. I forget which one. Oh, it's the next one here, Enva. Enva, I tried selling, I forget, 75 or 70 puts, I forget. Because that's a buy setup with a V retracement. You see the difference on Enva versus package? And wow, that's an igniting reversal bar. But gap's too big. So I got crazy high premium for this thing, like I think $1.30, something like that. So I just put out a bid for 20 cents because it has a month of expiration. If it were Friday expiration, I'd bid a penny, but 20 cents, and it's just a guess. I have no idea where it's going to open. Buy setup, but I would prefer this to have come down another red bar before this green bar to get closer to minor support. But it's bullish weekly, monthly. I'll keep an eye on it. Nothing there. All right, these are morning earnings. Coke breaking down has a big old void. It's a short idea. Tomo bearish 574 has room, but I don't like that it fell from the top of the range to the bottom. LYG. You know what? I actually set an alarm at 323 on this. And it's because it's in an uptrend, red bar ignored. And look at the beautiful weekly 1, 2, 3. Looks like all-time highs. I got my alarm. Knee. Actually, if it now takes out yesterday's low, it has room to fall. Day trade to the 50 MA. T, nothing. Now, had this opened flat, this would have been a fantastic 1, 2, 3 long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another buy setup, closing breakout, 2 inside bars. But gas messing it up. Boeing. I made a prediction yesterday that I didn't think it was going to move much on earnings. Everything's centered around because they've already disclosed all their bad news pretty much in the pre-releases and all that. So I think this thing's going to move with the strike resolution or lack thereof. But I got no interest in him. Gulf Delta is a buy setup. After a breakout, 1, 2, 3 weekly, that looks good. I'm going to put that in a window. CME is another buy setup. I got an alarm at 226.50. And, I like that it's down. It's better not go down much more, or pattern's not going to work. But but then it would have to negate this morning gap down if it triggers. And how many do you all know in the green room? How many times do I say something like this, Liv? Hey, if it can recover, and then within 5 minutes of market open, I say, look, alarm went off. It already recovered. So alarm set, and don't worry about it. Well, if you're talking about the bear gap that bullies, Alex, that's a very specific pattern. Here, this is another buy setup. Another buy setup. You know, same but different, as Greg says. Broke out, V top. So what am I going to do here? Um, well, actually, it's slopping around too much. So I'm going to wait. Give was down. It's slopping around. Prop shows it up $8. Another buy setup. Look how many buy setups I'm going through today. And these are just earning stocks. Broke out, pull back, has to take out a prior bar's high. Did I lose my pre-market? No, so I don't see any prints. It's 560. All right, I gotta put this in a window. I don't see anything. Hey, I see our Starbucks popping here a little bit. So I'm gonna be focused on, you know, trying to get out into strength. Hilton was down more, now rallying, no pattern, no doubtful. This was the one I think I was trying to sell puts, the 170s, I think. Remember that? Another buy setup. But it has to, the trigger is yesterday's high, which I don't think is going to happen with that big gap down. Another buy setup, DRT. But the gap's messing it up. LII, nothing will come back. True, no volume. Northern Trust, excessive gap, but bullish all time frames. MMYT. I was hoping this would have opened flat up because then it's a 1, 2, 3. But now it's a call spread. So Don, if you're watching that with me, 10-minute low, call spread over yesterday's high. EBR shows it capping down 10. Ooh, no pattern. Weatherford, that's capping up. I don't see any pattern. Papa Bravo, I don't see any volume. Taylor Morris, that's up, but when things come full, just tanking down like this, as opposed to a controlled manner, you never swing those. But day trades, it leaves a void. So you might get a day trade long. Yeah. So. Pop, nothing. I'm almost done here. Lad, nothing. Oh, I got filled on that 20 cents. So wow, Starbucks ripping here. Now the spreads are probably going to be nasty. The ice Vicer. So Don, those puts I sold for $1.30. Yeah, they're 0 by 75. So I might have gotten out at 10 or 15, but I will take that 20 cents and run because it has a week to go. Take it. What, Don, what's that song? Take the money and run. All right. Starbucks here midpoint is let's just try to bid to get out. Um, it's flopping around. Starbucks midpoint flopping 0.16 to 29. Exit at best price you can. No, I know, no shit, Sherlock. That's disaster gap. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'm not in it, so well, neither am I, but that doesn't change my passion to help subscribers. As you can tell, this is my primary focus right now. All right, what call do we have? The 95 calls. PayPal up alarm. I remember that looked great from yesterday. I know, Don, but put out an order and just now it's 20 cents and see if you'll get filled. There's nothing, we're bidding, we're providing liquidity. All right, Starbucks 95 calls or 96 by 155. All right, cool. All right, so 90, try to sell at try to sell at 95, 145 share on this bounce. All right, so I like I said, okay, so I'm done focusing on that. I got them settled. So now let me work on my other alarms here. And if there's any tier one I said I liked on earnings, if you all can help me. Be my eyes or our eyes rather. Teamwork. All right, yeah, Walmart relative strength. We bought calls yesterday. Yep, looks great. PayPal looks great. Yeah. All right, T2 up alarm looks great. Also reset alarm. CME up alarm. That's the one you all that I said. How many times within 5 minutes do I say if a gap can get negated? There was one or two yesterday, and now here's CME doing it today. T2. IWM relative strength here. The fangs. Tesla, Meta holding, the others Google holding, but Netflix, Amazon. Man, I'm busy here. All right, let's sell another third of this and the strength of T2. $60.67.
YUM that I mentioned the other day, it's clearing this resistance. It's too early to do anything, but definitely throw it in a thumbnail. If it closes like this, it should go higher.
So 58, 50 points. MPC low alarm. Alex, that's yours, that oil, remember? Great, check out MPC. I'm slammed here.
Yeah, that's down low. Crude oil gap down today, USO.
I know it's down, but do you want to give it?
Yeah, breaking down out of the consolidation. It couldn't go up for a week, week and a half after the gap down. Weekly is bearish.
Top 159.23. $8.58. Viceroy. Wow, hit my $50 up alarm, but I'm already out of it. 20 cent ADC. Here's another one. Build the gap. Looks great. All right, so I'm gonna put ADC here. And CME was the other one. No, that's that. See, now that one I would not touch because the gap in run is so big compared to ADC. See the difference? So this one looks great.
Dan, take a look at CRM. You got to go to next week, but you can go to 295, which is the top of the base. I know it's in an uptrend. Of course.
Yeah, ADC right here, Alex. Buy setup. ADC 30-minute high watch. Yeah, it's a buy setup for the bullish reversal. Yeah, what's your question? Uh, yeah, yeah, it's just the 10 DTE is my only hesitancy, but yeah, the pattern for sure. I'd love it for Friday. Ah, okay,
Extended.
cool. Cool, Alex. Thanks. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mentioned it as an earnings trade. I said if it can negate the gap, then I liked it. I mean, this thing may run. I mean, if you want to do a half lot now, I'm a little iffy on the market, but this, earnings trade on its own page. And Alex, his name is Agree Realty, so you can't disagree, right? All right, now Starbucks has settled down at 18 cents. All right, where am I looking? Oh, let's see, there's no weeklies into spreading. Still going through the lines. Um, Pod looks great. We're in it, but I said you could add. I had an alarm there at the top of that base. And W, oh shoot, we had a put spread on this. Ouch. We got 367. So, wow, the spreads got crazy. Man, spreads got nuts in this thing. Yeah, if you don't mind 10 days. But I'm sure. Gregor strikes were all messed up there though. $295 is the high. The MPH, I said possible. I said possible exhaustion gap. Although that's gapping from consolidation, I get it, but just because it's down so much from 130. 76, 73 is 60 cents, which is pretty good. Donald's just, I don't like those gaps in the middle of no man's land. Work day, low alarm, but it's still okay. We did a put spread yesterday. GMRC alarm. Let's reset it. Emitter, gave 5-minute low. This is the stop. We kept under the stop. So 5-minute low is 460. We're out. And we, if it, if it didn't gap under the stop, we would have had a winner. So another loss on a gap. Lift. Lift stop count content. Yeah, I didn't get the rest of my thing there. Watch list. Yeah, they're both. I don't see any patterns. Wow. That's not a pattern that I like, that's for sure. Sammy boy, your guild I still like from yesterday. I checked put premium and there's nothing, but looks great. With MSAS moving here, marijuana yesterday. Got Sandal on my list here. Hope it closes like this. And then CGC, I shorted puts yesterday myself. Checkpoint alarm went off. TFC. Trigger. 43.60. No, by 2 cents. So this looks fantastic. TFC over yesterday. Up alarm looks great. We're in this at 236.88. I'm going to set a break even stop and then just my alarms. Netflix, more weakness. It's just down too much for me. Here, look, the um yeah, if this were more fluid, then I'd feel a lot more excited about it. But this, you could, possible puts for I know. I looked at that first. There, GFL broke out. Sammy boy, you didn't say anything. I know. I already looked at it. It's an open trade. Going through opens here. This is a slow mover. little hut, still moving. Diamond's breaking out here on the 5 minute new day sign. One 180 reversal. It's 9:49, 10 a.m. If you can get it like ideally, I'd like to get a 1, 2, 3, and then at 10:15 by the high for a scalp. LII, another one. I had an alarm range expansion bar. Earnings. Put spread idea now. Is it stay? Then cancel it. Cancel it then if it's too spreading. If you're not in. Yeah, they're talking about spready. So is LII. 235 by 11. Well, they're 30 cents. You know, if you get a midpoint. Black would be a nice 1, 2, 3 to add for tomorrow. Q spiders new low. And accelerating was their 10 a.m. number. And guild up alarm as they make new lows. Sammy boy. All right, thanks. This closes like this. I'll be all over this tomorrow. Alex, is guild diversified enough from a bio perspective? All right, cool. Yeah, so bear 1, 2, 3. Breakout failure weekly and daily. This is a step one T2, you all. That was a typo before. So just something I had. I was off by $3. All right, Walmart doing great. That's a nice little Alex trade. Free up alarm, regional banks. Remember I mentioned that 15-minute inverse head and shoulder yesterday? Walmart, nice. Thank you, spiders. Not looking so hot. Yeah, retest pattern. I like it. I'm not doing it now with the market falling, but I'll put it on the list. Mm, had a huge run, Stephen. Compare that to Walmart yesterday. See, hugging the 20. All this major support, breakdown failure, breakout weekly. So Walmart was superior new trade than LYB. That's already been running a lot. Not saying it won't go up. I'm just saying, look how far the 20, this thing's been running a lot. Whereas Walmart was rested. It gapped down and is rallying to resistance, but if it can go sideways till after 3, then I'd say, yeah, you could buy it. Stop yesterday's low. That's fine. It's, and intelligently getting on a moving train. This is our break-even price, not the stock, but break even. Let me see, I got post. I'm still working through opens here. Stuff down this morning. Everything. Okay.
What are you referring to, Alex? I didn't follow.